All right, we are live. Welcome. Trying to adjust this light a little bit. It reflects in my glasses and these new ones way more than my old ones. I did get the reflective coating, but apparently, or anti-reflective coating. Apparently it's not good enough. It's probably gonna bug me. Maybe I'll go like that. I'm just waiting for people to come on in. As you come in, don't forget to say hello so that I can welcome you to the chat. This is going to be an interesting conversation today. I kind of just woke up this morning and knew that I was going to talk about this. I haven't talked about electrolytes in quite a bit of time, at least not a devoted video. And I just wanted to talk about maybe how things are switching up for me and let you guys know that I may or may not be recommending the same things. So yeah, that's a little bit nerve-wracking always, especially when I'm teaching keto. So yes, I see people popping into the chat. Welcome, everybody. Say hello. I'm just going to run down the list and see who is here. Awesome. Karen Rothwell, my moderator, is here. Welcome. I'm so glad to see you. Tina Blair, welcome. Victoria Gets Fit, hello. Christian Hansen, I don't think I've seen you here before. Welcome. Dairy Free Keto, who is Sarah. Thank you for reminding me. I appreciate it because my brain, I was really worried I'm going to forget everybody's names today and just look like an idiot. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Stephanie, welcome. Jenna Koenig, welcome from Texas. Beth Olson, hello. Sunshine, good to see you, Sunshine. Cleveland, welcome. Jennifer Costa, hey, I'm so glad you're here. That's awesome. Epiphany London is here, and I believe her name is Sue. I'm doing this. Yes, and thank you for the compliment on the glasses. I'm still getting used to them. They're a little bit more retro than I was going for, but I can pull it off, right? Have to. Choice. Lola, welcome. Dawn Easthope, welcome. Janice Pate from North Carolina. I'm going to go there someday. It's my dream. Nesreen, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Welcome. Michelle Pierre, hello. It's afternoon there. Well, is it afternoon here? Not really. It's still morning for me. It's 11. Keto Cricket, who is Tammy, welcome. Carly's mama, who is Tanya, I believe. Ooh, I'm on a roll today. And let's see, Rebecca Smith. All right. Oh, apparently I'm going to have a runny nose today. What is the deal with that? I'm not sick. Okay. Anybody else? Thank you for the compliment, Karen. Yeah, we need to all go and have like a big, awesome meetup in North Carolina and hang out with Dr. Westman and go keto with Casey. And is it in Keto? No, Keto Mama's in Michigan. Who else was in North Carolina? There was someone else. Anyway, there's a lot of people apparently in North Carolina. Oh, it was Joni, isn't it? Is it Joni from Keto Diamond, I think? I don't know. Somebody lives there. Anyway, nobody lives in Utah. Well, that's not true. Niquina lives in Utah, and Keto Grace, who is Debbie, and who else? There's a few people that live in Utah, but not necessarily that are YouTubers. All right. So I was right about Keto Diamond. Awesome. See, I'm getting there. My brain is working today. I must have taken my Soleil water, and that's what we're here for. So that's a great segue into our conversation topic for the day. So if you guys have watched my channel before, or if you've seen any of my like getting started on keto videos, you'll know that I really feel like electrolytes are key to success on keto. In fact, short of just consuming fewer carbs, I feel like they are most important thing that you need to know. So there are the three most important things that you need to know to be successful on keto. Firstly is how to restrict your carbohydrates so that you actually can get into ketosis. Secondly would be managing electrolytes. And thirdly would be managing the amounts of food that you eat, calories, macros, etc., in order to give you the proper deficit for fat loss. So those are the three things that I usually teach. And electrolytes is probably the one that I stand on my soapbox about the most. I feel like it gets the least recognition in the keto community, and I feel like it should be one of the most talked about subjects that is out there. Now, an awesome follower of mine, Gloria S., sent me a message this week about Amy Berger's new book. She is one of Dr. Westman's people, and I did talk about a video that they made about stalls a couple weeks back. She's writing a new book about stalls Hello, awesome. You guys should all check out into is it To It Keto? No, To It Nutrition. I think that's right. I think that's her YouTube. But and buy her book when it comes out at the first of the year because it sounds like it's a cool name. Like it's a really cool title. I would buy it just because of the title. It's I think it's called Stall Slayer. Is that the best title or ever or what? Anyway, Gloria told me about this book and about this video that just came out, and I went and watched it. And for some reason, it got stuck in my head that it was about electrolytes. And then when I went back and rewatched it, it was not. And I thought, you know what? This is a sign. I think I need to talk about my new feelings about electrolytes, that I've been kind of changing the way I feel about them. I've kind of hinted at it a little bit, but I wanted to really put out a video because at the first of the year, I'm revamping all of my getting started guide, and I will be changing my electrolytes recommendations. I know that probably sounds crazy, but I am going to be. And there's a couple of reasons why. So first of all, let's talk about my original recommendations for electrolytes. So I recommend 5,000 milligrams of sodium minimum, 300 to 700 milligrams of magnesium minimum, and 1,000 to 3,500 milligrams of potassium. Those have been across the board the numbers I've recommended for a really long time. They are very similar to the numbers that I learned about in my first Facebook group that I was part of, where I learned all about the ketogenic diet and how to lose fat on it. It was called Ketogenic Dieters. I'm no longer a member or part of that group, but it is where I got my basics for my electrolytes recommendations. And you know, I've talked about it if you've been around. If you haven't been around, you probably don't know that I consume an excess of 5,000 milligrams of sodium. I consume a huge amount of sodium. On the daily, I take probably 8 tablespoons on a regular day of Soleil water, which has about 1,400 milligrams of sodium per tablespoon. So do the math on that. It's a lot more than 5,000. And also, I, in the summer, will take even more. Or when I'm on like a water weight whoosh, which happens, I will take more. And I basically go by how I feel. So obviously 5,000 is going to be my target for the day, no matter what. But if I feel cruddy, I'll take more. And that's how I end up doing this. Well, a couple months back, I was struggling all summer. I was taking my extra Soleil water, and I was having trouble with water retention that I just couldn't kick. Normally, my water retention goes in cycle with my feminine cycle. I will gain like 6 pounds of water. It's ridiculous when I am ovulating, and then when I'm closer to my cycle starting, I will drop all of that water and my body will let it go. And I've had this like cycle since the beginning of doing keto. Like it has just been my normal cycle, so I'm used to it. Well, this summer it wouldn't go all the way down. So I put on that initial whatever 6-7 pounds at the beginning of the summer and never could quite drop it off. And even though my inches were going down, the scale was not going down, which means I was retaining even more water than what I had initially gained. And I was feeling really frustrated. And someone mentioned to me, I wish I could remember who, someone in the comments mentioned to me that they retain water when their potassium is low. And I thought, you know what? It has been a really long time since I've monitored my potassium level. On ketogenic dieters, potassium was kind of like overlooked as not something that you have to pay attention to, that if you're consuming the amount of protein that we're recommending, that you'll get plenty. So I like tracked it at the beginning and then just kind of went, yeah, getting enough, and stopped tracking my potassium, stopped paying attention to it. Well, at the end of the summer, I started looking at my numbers and realizing that they were abysmally low. I wasn't even hitting the minimum of 1,000 milligrams that was being recommended through ketogenic dieters, which is where I'd gotten that number from. I wasn't even hitting that with the amount of protein I was consuming, which I'm trying to think how on earth was, what was the difference? What was the difference? But before, I swear I was hitting it. I think it was because I had tried to cut bacon out of my diet in order to consume a little less fat, and maybe the bacon was where I was hitting that 1,000. So I decided that I was going to start focusing on adding high potassium foods to my diet, right? Because that's what makes the most sense. So I started putting spinach in everything and eating a lot more lettuce and mushrooms and like all these different things I tried starting to incorporate into my diet. And let's just say it worked fairly well, but I am an abysmal failure when it comes to vegetables. I can't It's just not the way I focus. I don't do more really than a cup of vegetables. So, in trying to decide on my new recommendations for electrolytes, I have been researching the articles that I'm always linking to for everyone else to read. I really started reading Dr. Phinney's articles on sodium, every single one that's on his Verta Health blog. I have read and studied recently and started to pay more attention to the science of what he's teaching. And I noticed either he's changed them or I read them differently when I first read them. But he actually, I just laughed because when I read it today, he was actually recommending 5 servings of non-starchy vegetables a day. And this was my face. Right? Like, no. No. Not Dr. Phinney. You know, I'm kind of against the whole 7 cups of veggies that Berg always talks about. I think it's silly and ridiculous. It's not necessary. And Dr. Phinney has a whole article on why we don't need fiber. And we all know that we can get micronutrients from good old multivitamin, right? Yeah. So I don't eat vegetables much. And of course, with the whole carnivore revolution, which I have not jumped on the train of, but everyone is. And it is like the carnivore thing. You're wondering, okay, well, where's those 5 cups or 5 servings of vegetables, right? So I read his article and I realized he's recommending a little bit more balance with electrolytes. And I'm wondering if the reason that I feel like I need to consume so much sodium is not because I need more sodium. It's because my body is trying to balance out and retain the potassium that I'm collecting, and it needs that extra sodium to do so, or it's just asking me for extra potassium that I'm just not giving it, and so I'm drowning myself in sodium trying to fix the keto flu, whereas I really just needed to raise my potassium game. So another thing Dr. Phinney talks about in his article is the limit for sodium, which is one that I just don't even like to listen to because I consume excess. I consume on the daily double what Dr. Phinney says is the limit of what you should consume. Now, he hasn't really gone into a lot of detail of why 8,000 milligrams is his limit, and he is including what you eat in food, okay? That's not just a supplement. I supplement more than that on top of what I'm eating in food. And so I'm trying to decide, why I got to this place, what I should do to change it. Is it necessary to change it? That kind of thing. It's all going through my head, and I'm studying what he's written. Basically, what he's saying is that studies over time have showed a shorter life expectancy in people that consume more than 8,000 milligrams of sodium. Now, those were not necessarily people on a ketogenic diet, but they are it's studies of people who consume the amount that they consume. Apparently, according to Dr. Phinney's article, the people who have the longest longevity are the people who hit 5,000 almost exactly on the head, which I just can't even imagine going that low, but 5,000 milligrams of sodium, and I think the number was 4,000 potassium. So it's almost equal. And I've always been of the camp of saying that if your sodium's really high, your body will retain the potassium that you eat, and it will keep the amount it needs, and the higher sodium will tell your body that it needs to not panic, and it won't drop potassium, so you'll be able to keep those in balance. But Dr. Phinney's actually saying that you need to eat more of a balanced electrolyte cocktail. And that's actually different than what I've ever understood him to be saying. I'm not even kidding. I don't know if I just read the article incorrectly the times I've literally read this article probably 100 times. I'm not kidding. And yet today and yesterday when I read it again, I'm like, did he change this article? Because I swear he changed it. I swear he changed it. It didn't change the date. I swear he changed it. It didn't say that before. Either that or I just didn't see it because I didn't want to see it. So am I recommending that you add 5 servings of non-starchy vegetables per day? If you want to, but I don't feel like it's super necessary. And in Dr. Phinney's article, he does talk about other ways to supplement potassium that will be better. So for the last few months, I have actually tried to rein in my sodium a little bit better. I'm progressing in that way, but I have to get my potassium level up enough in order to feel good. So instead of turning right to sodium every single time I'm feeling keto flu symptoms, I am trying to reevaluate whether or not my potassium is at a good level first. So, my new recommendations for 2020, I will be changing my chart to 5 to 8,000 milligrams of sodium, including food. I probably will not successfully do that myself. Like, I live on Soleil water. It makes me happy. I love this stuff. But I think that my recommendations of just giving a minimum but not a maximum probably aren't the best choice, considering Dr. Phinney says that the mortality rates for people that consume above 8,000 milligrams, including food, is higher. Now, whether or not that's going to kill you tomorrow, it isn't. Okay, it's not. There's so many factors of why people live a certain amount of time and why they don't. But we're doing keto to enhance our lives. We're doing keto to heal our bodies. We're doing keto to live longer. We're doing keto to be more active. There's so many reasons. And of course, the more active you are, the more sodium you excrete. When you're on a water weight whoosh, you're excreting more. So really, I have tried to go by how I feel, get that 5,000 minimum, and then go by how I feel. But I hit the 5,000 minimum in my very first dose of Soleil water. Like in the morning. Well, maybe not quite that. I'm taking 2 tablespoons, about 3,000. I'm hitting the minimum Dr. Phinney recommends as a sodium supplement, because he's saying supplement up to 3 grams or 3,000 milligrams of sodium and get the 5,000 from the rest of it from food. Like, that's totally different than what I've always been taught. It was totally different than what I was taught on ketogenic dieters. And I'm kind of going, I don't think I can do that. I hit that in the morning before I even consume a bite, and I die over it. I mean, I take 4 of that doses a day. I'm trying to cut it to 3. So that's my first goal, is to cut it to 3. Now, if I could cut it to half that dose, maybe it would be better, so that I could take it more often in a day. I don't know. I just haven't quite gotten there. This is my Soleil water cup. You can see the salt crusting on the edge because it does that. This is what I use to measure my Soleil water, and I take 2, actually, you know what? This is 3 tablespoons. This isn't 2. That's why I'm doing my math wrong. Oh man, I really got to cut back then, because I'm taking 3 tablespoons at a time 4 times a day. Okay, that's high. So I'm cutting my sodium back. I know you never ever thought you'd heard me say that. I know all of you are going mind blown right now. If you're not, you should be, because me saying this, I feel like I am saying the opposite of what I've been saying my whole entire keto life. Okay, but anyway, I'm trying to cut back to 3 of those doses a day, and then I'll wean back even more if I can. I am raising my potassium game. I stopped trying to add a bunch of potassium veggies to my food. It's too much complication. It's too much work for my brain. I hate having to track it. I don't want to think about it. I want to be able to take a supplement, right? Like this, and get it done. So what I have done is added what Dr. Phinney recommends for if you can't get enough potassium from food. Bingo! Thank the Lord that Dr. Phinney said this is a good way to get your potassium in, because this is in the article and this is legit what I use. So what I've been doing, this is so cheap too. Like, if you buy those potassium pills on the market, they are so expensive. It's like practically 5 cents for a pill. I don't know. Like, it's ridiculously priced. This stuff is super cheap. It lasts forever. And what I have been doing, so if you look on the back, it contains both sodium and potassium. So you got to remember that it does have some sodium in it. But it has 290 milligrams of sodium and 350 milligrams of potassium per quarter teaspoon, which is a little bit over a gram. Okay. So what I've been doing, and I will tell you, this stuff is even grosser than this. So if you have trouble with this is going to make you want to die. So if you'd rather eat 5 servings of vegetables, you should totally go that route, because if you like vegetables, this is gross. It tastes nasty. But what I do is I actually weigh it out, and I do 3 or 4 grams in the morning and at night. And that's in addition to my food. I can hit between 2,000 and 4,000 milligrams of potassium, which is my goal. But it does add to my sodium, which makes it even harder to keep my sodium low. So I am working on that. Anyway, I basically weigh this out into a little tiny cup. I have a cup that I just keep up in the windowsill, and I put it on the scale. I weigh out, and you have to shake it and then wait a second, and then shake it and then wait a second because it's very light. And so sometimes I get too much and I have to pour some out, or sometimes it takes it a minute to like feel the weight. But I take 3 to 4 grams. I pour a little bit of water, and I mean like that much in a cup, like, a shot glass, not very much water in with it. And then I add my favorite thing in the world, of course, Mio water enhancer. 1 squirt of this. I stir it up until the light salt has dissolved, and then I chug it and chase it with water like you would not believe. It is gross. It is the grossest tasting stuff ever. I also sprinkle it occasionally on my food to get a little bit more, but I don't necessarily do a ton of that, and I don't track that. So I want to make sure I don't go over the 5,000, which is why I shoot to track about 2,000 to 4,000. So I make sure I don't go too high. There's been a lot of vilification of potassium because apparently if you eat too much of it, it can stop your heart, which is why I haven't recommended it on my Facebook group. It's why I haven't recommended it much here, because I don't want to be the cause of somebody unintentionally taking too much and stopping their own heart from beating. Okay? That's why I've stressed the sodium, because the sodium does work. It does help you retain that potassium. But now I'm worried, am I advising people to shorten their life expectancy because their sodium levels are too high? I don't know. And you have to decide what you want to do for your own self. I go by how I feel. But now, instead of turning to sodium all the time, I try to turn to potassium as well in order to try and balance those numbers a little bit better. And it seems to be working, and my water weight problem hasn't been as significant when I'm doing the potassium as it was all summer when I was just downing the sodium and trying to get it under control, and it wasn't. And the potassium really did seem to help with that. So yes, my new potassium recommendations will no longer be 1,000 to 3,500 milligrams from food and light salt. In 2020, when I revamp my whole thing, I am going to be recommending what Dr. Phinney recommends. Well, he recommends 3,000 to 4,000. What I'm going to do is change mine to 2,000 to 4,000 milligrams of potassium from food and light salt. So you do have to still track all of your food sources and your supplements, so that you make sure you don't go too high. You definitely do not ever, ever, ever want to go above 4,700 milligrams of potassium if you can help it, because you're just getting into dangerous territory, especially if you're also doing sodium. So the idea is to balance it out, because basically the sodium, if I understand it correctly, the sodium balances outside the cell, and the potassium balances inside the cell, and the two work together to make the cell happy. But I mean, that's as much as I can understand in my little pea brain. I am not a scientist. Like I've said to you guys before, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, and I'm not a scientist. I'm literally a homeschool mother of 9 children who lost 200 pounds on keto. I'm just trying to help people the best way I know how, and I'm not afraid to admit my mistakes, because if this is something that needs to be talked about, I need to talk about it and not feel like embarrassed that maybe I was recommending the wrong thing. I was recommended by ketogenic dieters what to say to people and what to recommend for my group. My magnesium recommendations will stay the same. So this is the magnesium that I use. It's magnesium glycinate. You can choose to use whatever magnesium you like. I don't recommend oxide because ketogenic dieters said it's 4% absorbable. But what do they know? Anyway, I just choose to use glycinate because it helps with muscle cramps. It helps me sleep. I take it before bed. Some people do like malate in the morning and glycinate at night because malate is supposed to give energy. Either way, I'm sticking with my 300 to 700 milligrams of magnesium recommendation. Dr. Phinney doesn't really say. And he also doesn't say that it has to be an everyday thing. In the article, it just says if you have muscle cramps, take a few slow mag tabs for a week or 2. It doesn't even say you need to always be supplementing magnesium. But for me, when it comes to muscle cramps, when it comes to sleep, when it comes to my bowel movements, it's necessary. I recommend just taking it all the time so that you don't get into trouble. But remember that when you're having a water weight wish, you don't lose your magnesium as much as you do your other electrolytes. The magnesium is stored in the muscles. It's not stored the way potassium and sodium is. So that's why potassium and sodium are vital every day, and why magnesium maybe isn't as stressful to do every single day of your life. So what are some other supplements that I personally take? I just thought I wanted to talk about all the supplements I take. So we've talked about electrolytes and my new recommendations and what I am shooting for. I'm not obviously getting there. I'm still taking way more sodium than Dr. Phinney recommends because that's how I feel good. And so it's hard to convince my body that it wants to do less than that. But I am working on it. Another supplement that I take is a multivitamin. This is the one that I personally take. This is not sponsored by Ritual, though I keep meaning to like ask them to do like some kind of promotional video with me because I love these so much. I call them my little energy bombs. They have all the essentials for women. I don't think they have a men's vitamin yet. And of course you can take any vitamin you would like. This one doesn't have every micronutrient that ever exists. It has the ones that are supposedly most important for women. It also has vitamin D3 in it, which helps me, especially I suffer from depression and anxiety. And it does help me. And so I take 2 capfuls of this every day. It has 2,000 IUs of vitamin D3. I can't remember all of the things it has in it. And I can't even see it, I don't think. Let's see if I can see it. It's clear, so I can't like read. Let's see what it has. It has vitamin E. It has, tells everything where it comes from, so it takes for a minute. Vitamin K, folate, iron, magnesium, so it has a little, it's only 30 milligrams of magnesium though, it's a very small amount. Boron, and then omega-3s, and I think that's it, pretty much it. So it doesn't have a heck of a lot, but I love these things. I've been taking them for over 2 years and I will never stop. They're $30 a month. It automatically charges me and ships it to me. Oh my gosh, I'm doing an ad for Ritual right now. They should be grateful. Okay, and the last thing that I take, I only take this, so I take it between October and March, is I add even more D3 to my diet because of my depression. Last year I waited and I didn't take it until January and I was in full-on cry zone before I got there. I decided this year that I was going to take vitamin D3 early, and so far it seems to be helping me. I still get weepy a little bit before my womanly cycle every month, but I don't sink into severe depression as badly. I am worried about as the sun goes away, it is depressing to me. I do suffer from seasonal affective disorder, and so I take this. This specific brand I decided to take because it is also the same kind of D3 that is in Ritual, which is the lichen form. But this particular brand does not come with oil, and it's a fat-soluble vitamin. So you have to make sure you take these with your food. This is powdered D3 from Wild Harvest Lichen. There are 5,000 IUs in each pill, and I take 2 extra of these a day. So that's just something I do for me. I have found that taking the D3 does help with my hair. I don't lose as much hair. In fact, my hair is looking dang good compared to where it looked about 6 months into keto when it started falling out in hunks. That was before I found the vitamin D3 connection. And so this I take all the time for my hair. And then this I add for the depression. But I definitely think it helps. So if you're having trouble with hair loss or breakage, things like that, definitely up your D3 game. I don't take biotin or collagen or any of those things. Never have. Well, that's not true. I have tried it, but I didn't find that it was beneficial enough to warrant the paying for it because it's so expensive. And I found the D3 is way cheaper and it works just as well. Was that all of my supplements? I think so. That's pretty much all the supplements that I take. So now you know my new recommendations for electrolytes. Like I said, they're just my personal recommendations based on Dr. Phinney's research. They are subject to change as Dr. Phinney changes. And I like I said, I'm not researching anything but Dr. Phinney's research. If he hasn't done it, I don't know the answer. And that's just kind of how it is. Okay, so we're 30 minutes in. all the information. You just got all the information. I'm going to go into Q&A, but before I go into Q&A, I want to tell you guys something super fun and exciting that I'm really excited about. This is literally not on the same topic. This is a completely different topic. This is just for those of you lucky enough to be here at this video at this point and who hasn't given up on me. So those of you who are actually here in the chat, and those of you who are watching it later and have made it this far into the video. It's not that exciting, but it's exciting to me. I am going to be doing my very first sponsored video, right? I didn't think I was ever going to decide on the company to sponsor with. I have been approached by so many companies, but I will tell you this, as a YouTuber, I have said no to every single company for multiple reasons. For the first reason is because usually their products were things I do not support and do not believe in, or just think are silly and unnecessary. So why would I do that? Number two, they haven't wanted to pay me any money at all, not even like $50. And I'm sorry, but you know what? My time and the time that I've spent building this channel and my influence on people who watch me is worth some money. And they're always like, we don't have an advertising budget for that. And I'm like, that's wrong. Or we don't pay for reviews. Okay, well, then I don't give them. Now, sometimes a company will contact me, like the one I just posted on Instagram. It was Outer Isle sent me some egg thin type thing, wrap things. They approached me and just wanted to send me free food. They didn't ask for a video. I said, what do you expect in return? Nothing. Okay, I'll take it. And then I decide if I want to do it or not. So that's different. When people actually ask me for a review on my channel, I'm not giving it for free. I'm sorry. That just seems wrong. And anyway, so this is the first company that came to me. Well, it's not the first company that came to me offering to pay me, but it's the first one that I've said, okay, I could do that. It's not food. So it's not a supplement. It's not any kind of keto ridiculousness. It is nothing like that. It is actually a sports bra, sports clothing company. I'm so excited. I get a sports bra. And I can't wait to do a video for you guys. That means probably showing myself in a bra again, which I don't know. That was super awkward when I did that a few weeks ago. But I am really excited to be doing this, and I'm telling you about it now because I want you guys to be saving your pennies and watching for my video, because the video will be coming out on Black Friday. It will be a paid video. It will be a sponsorship. There will be an affiliate link. Yes, I will make a tiny bit of money if you decide to buy the product. It will be some kind of, maybe a discount. I really don't know. They haven't told me exactly everything. But the video will be coming out on Black Friday, so it'll be like a Black Friday sale thing, and I hope you guys are excited about it. I may not be the only ketoer out there that is going to be doing this, so you may see it all over the place. I don't know, but I'm way excited. Like, I feel like a real YouTuber now. I feel like special. No, I'm just kidding. But I do. I'm finally doing a sponsored video with an affiliate link. It just feels like I've crossed into a new world, and I'm so excited. All right, so that's all for that. That's all for this video. We are going to move into the Q&A portion of the video. I am going to go back up to the top, and like I have mentioned in the past, if you have a burning question that must be answered today, there's always a super chat option. It will pop the question up in front of me so that I can see it quicker and will get you more attention. I really don't like to go over an hour with these videos because I find people just don't like to watch them later, and that's my main concern. And we went like an hour and 40 a couple weeks ago, and I really don't want that to happen. So if you have a very important question, be sure to do like a buck super chat or something so that it like pops up. It doesn't have to be a large amount of money or anything, but it'll like alert me at the top with a little dollar sign. Oh yeah, there's somebody that donated to the channel. Anyway, so there's your disclaimer. You may get your question answered better if you do that. I'm going to go back up to the top, and we shall begin the question and answer portion of this video. I'm in a good mood today. Can you tell? Oh, I have not purchased the tickets for the retreat in January. I'm still going back and forth with that. I have a little extra money, but I just want to spend it on kids. I don't know what I'm going to do about that one. Maybe, Janice. I'm glad you did. That's awesome. Oh, Amy does live in North Carolina as well. Yes, that's how come she knows Dr. Westman. And that would be fun to like get together with her too. Oh my heck. And Jackie Eberstein's Dr. Atkins nurse. Awesome. Okay, that's cool. There's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. See, I know I keep saying I'm gonna do it. I don't know. We'll see about January. Do. Okay. Thank you, Karen, for linking to the book. Victoria Gets Fit says that's a lot of sodium. Yes, it is, but I just don't feel good unless I have that much. I've been doing it forever. Been living, I mean, seriously doing it forever. Okay. Okay, sorry. I'm just making sure I don't miss. Hey, Teresa, Keto Fat Girl No More. Boop, boop. I'm glad you're here. She's another one of my moderators. Okay, I'm getting there. Julie Hadley says, I'm at 56% of 2,600 milligrams of potassium, and that's a good day for me. Normally, I'm much lower. What did you say the goal I suggest is? That's perfect. I say, Dr. Phinney says 3,000 to 4,000. I'm saying 2,000 to 4,000 because 2,000 seems to be plenty for me. But of course, I'm still doing the higher sodium, so I may up that as I bring my sodium down. But that's what it says in the article. 3,000 to 4,000 is what Dr. Phinney says. I know Dr. Berg recommends like 4,700, but he also doesn't recommend as much sodium. So that might be a reason he does that. Keto Cricket says, welcome to my side. Hey, love you, Tammy. Hey, Nona Grace, good to see you. All right, let's see. Victoria Gets Fit says, oh no, I'm looking at my Fitness Pal for the last week and my potassium is lower than I thought. Yep. Also, remember that you need to double check, especially if you're using my Fitness Pal, because it's notorious for having user entered entries where people don't bother to put the potassium. Double check your entries and make sure they actually include a potassium number, because you don't want to overdo it because you're using a tracking, item that doesn't actually include the potassium level. So make sure you double check that. Low salts also has potassium in it. They're all the same thing. It's potassium chloride, I think. Yeah, potassium chloride. So all of those brands, New Salt, NU, I think it's how it's spelled, light salt, low salt, all of those are fine. All those are fine. Potassium chloride basically is what it is. You can do citrate, but I'm on another board where they say citrate can interfere with the body's processing of iron. So I try to avoid it, but you can. I know other doctor gurus that suggest citrate, so it's up to you. Yes, Keto Cricket says it did say it, but our biases do interfere with our perception of information. Yes, I mean, I was going based on what I'd learned through ketogenic dieters and what I've been taught through Ketogains and all. They recommend that level. And a lot of the admins that I worked with on ketogenic dieters would consume upwards of 15,000, 16,000 milligrams of sodium a day. And so I just felt like that was a normal level. And it wasn't until I decided to revamp everything for the new year and started really looking into it again that I went, yeah, maybe I'm just overkilling it. Maybe I just really feel crappy if I don't have it. So there's that. I go by how I feel, but I'm trying to cut back a little bit and raise more potassium and see if that helps. So there you go. Yes, and Keto Fat Girl No More says, I had to cut back on veggies because they caused me to have high inflammation and put me into fibro flare-up. She's in better shape when she's eating more meat than anything else. Right, and so you have to go by how you feel that way as well. I definitely get it from another source then. Try to use a different source. I mean, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what's worked for me and what I've decided to recommend. You can do what you want to do. Yeah, okay. Let's see. One thing about sodium I've noticed is that you build up a tolerance to it over time. And so at the very beginning, I wasn't taking nearly this much. And over time, I've just kind of started taking it and my body just gets used to using it. So I don't know if I'm damaging my body in any way for it having to be used to that, and maybe it asks for it because I've done it for so long. I don't know if I pull back, if my body will get used to the new number and will stop making me feel like I have keto flu. I don't know. These are all things I'm trying to figure out. Also, I am consuming a lot more fat now. And I really do think there's a direct correlation to the lower fat needing the higher sodium. I don't know if there's something about the fat that makes the sodium stick more, but it seems like people that do the higher fat keto don't need as much sodium as the people who do the lower fat, which is what I did to lose weight. So I don't know if there's any correlation with that. Dr. Phinney doesn't talk about it at all. It's just like things I've noticed over time. So I honestly don't know if there's any actual connection. It just seems to me like that is a thing. So I might need less now that I'm eating higher fat anyway. So, do I take it with apple cider vinegar? I don't, but I could. Apple cider vinegar is supposed to be really great for digestion, a good probiotic. I've never taken it. I've never needed help. My electrolytes that I take every day help my bowels be regular, so I really haven't needed to take it. But you absolutely can. I know a lot of people do, so definitely it's totally fine. All right, let's see. Karen says she thought the top of the Go Stack was the 1.5. When I first measured it, this was 22 grams, which is 1.5. But you have a good point there. I should remeasure this because it's been ages since I've done that. I am not 100% sure what I'm taking because I may be wrong. I'm going to find out. Probably today. Right? Yes. Okay. Let's see. You don't like to drink salt water. I don't have that problem. I did at first, though. I hated it. It was disgusting. It burned. It made me cry. Literally, like, eyes cry. And I'm burned all the way down to my stomach. I hated it, but now I love it. So good. Okay. You can drink it with lemon. Just be sure to track it. Okay, let's see. Keto. Oh, the light salt make you sick, but Michelle Rock makes capsules with it, which would work better. Yeah, it just takes a lot. You can do that with regular salt too. It just takes forever to do that. So I'm too lazy. I'd rather suffer through the misery. Let's see. Maybe you're adding too much. You do a teaspoon per drink. It just depends on how many drinks you're doing per day. If you're only doing 2 drinks a day, then teaspoon's probably totally fine because that's about, I'm doing, like a teaspoon is what? About 5 grams-ish, I think. Yeah, that might be a little bit much. I would track it, make sure. Okay, let's see. Sorry, just seeing if there's anything else that I missed. Okay. Jessica Keenan says, I do take potassium glycinate, 99 milligrams once in the morning and once at night. I can't stand the light salt. You can do it that way. It's just more expensive. That's totally fine. But 200 milligrams isn't enough anyway. You need to be like doing like 10 times that. That's the problem. Is it's so expensive to take those 99 milligram pills aren't enough. If you use magnesium citrate for your magnesium supplement, your bowels will run forth. Be careful. Magnesium citrate is really good for constipation. It's not really good for daily supplementation. Also, because citrates of any kind can interfere with iron absorption in the blood, though I don't really get the science on that. Something to do with your ceruloplasmin, if I'm saying that right. I still don't understand it. I probably never will. I'm just trying to say I cut back on my citrate for that reason because I don't really understand it. Okay. I don't take probiotics because I don't know. I just haven't. But maybe there's something to that. Okay, let's see. Sorry, I'm just making sure. Interesting. If you have nuts or chocolate, you skip the magnesium. I don't usually. It's just so ingrained in me to take it. I just don't think to not take it if I'm doing that. But I don't eat a lot of nuts. I do eat some chocolate, though. Yes, D3 and B complex are super necessary to mental health. Yes, they are. And I have had severe depression where I should have been hospitalized. I've never taken any Prozac or anything. I just try and keep it in check with my diet now that I figured out that this works, but I still have moments. And so that's definitely important. Okay. Where are we? Were those the crepini egg thins? No, they are outer aisle sandwich thins. I posted them on Instagram. There's a picture of them, and they'll be in my next food video, of course, because I ate them this week. I think they're similar to those egg thins. They have they're cauliflower thins. So they have cauliflower, egg, and Parmesan cheese and spices. So they're really good macros, really good ingredients. They smell like cauliflower, but they don't taste like cauliflower. They're chocolatey. They're pretty good. Not bad. All right. It's not Yvette, I don't think. Actually don't know the name of it. The actual bra. I don't know. I'm willing to try it. Even if it's a negative recommendation. I'm not going to say it's awesome if it's not awesome. Right? Okay. I seem hyper. Maybe a little. I don't know why. Oh, you know why? Julie, this is why. I actually got 8 hours of sleep. Right? 8 whole hours of sleep last night. It's like a new world. I never ever get more than 7 hours, and 6 is my often every day. And yesterday, the day before, I only got 5 hours of sleep. And so yesterday I was a freaking zombie, and today I actually feel like a normal human. Plus, I also remembered to take my light salt and my sodium and my all of my supplements except for the D3 I took this morning. Well, actually not true. I didn't take magnesium. I was taking it in the morning. Maybe that's part of the reason. I don't know. Sometimes I'm just talky. Sometimes I'm just, yeah. Anyway. Okay, let's see. Nesreen says, was it because you stopped taking potassium that you have a plateau? Probably not. There's lots of reasons you can have a plateau. Potassium, low electrolytes of any kind can make you retain water. So if it's just a plateau in the scale, it could be that. If you're still going down in inches and you're not going down on the scale, it's most likely that. But if you're really plateauing, as in 6 weeks with no change in pounds or inches, probably you're consuming too much fat. Hate to break it to you. That's what Amy Berger says. That's what Dr. Westman says. What Dr. Phinney says. If you're not losing weight, you're consuming too much food. You need to cut back on the fat. I like to cut back on the fat and raise the protein so that I still feel like I'm getting plenty of food. You don't have to do it that way, but yeah, that's probably the reason. So if you haven't tried the protein prioritized macros that I give on my Facebook group, I highly recommend trying that if you're having a plateau. If you're already doing that, then you can lower your fat grams and raise your protein a little bit more and try that and see if that works for you. Yeah. Okay. Oh, keto, Teresa, keto fat girl no more says since you stopped doing high fat, you take less sodium? Huh. So maybe my observation is not correct then. I don't know. I think you should take as much as it makes you feel good. That's the honest truth. If you feel good, then you're probably taking enough. Okay, let's see. You're very welcome. We're not on the replay yet, Mary Eileen. We're still live. We are still live. Okay. Oh, how much water do I drink? Actually, not a heck of a lot. I drink more diet soda than water. I basically live on diet soda. 60 to 80 ounces is probably my tippy top of water. I drink a lot of diet soda. I'm not going to say how much. Try not to drink too much water because it flushes your electrolytes even more. And maybe because I drink so much diet soda is why I need so much sodium. Maybe I'm flushing them all the time with my diet soda problem. I don't know. Maybe. But I love my diet soda. I'm not ready to give it up yet. Maybe someday. Okay, let's see. Do I get dry skin? Yes, but I've always had dry skin. I suffer from dry skin severely, and I live in the desert in Utah, and especially in the winter, it's absolute misery. I use all kinds of creams and lotions, and I still feel really, really dry. I have to exfoliate constantly, especially my face, or I get all these little crispy white things all over. Sometimes you'll notice me having those on videos because I didn't exfoliate good enough. I don't know that it has anything to do with my diet. My diet hasn't seemed to improve or make it worse. Carly's mama Tanya says, I was sipping pickle juice for the sodium, then kept getting leftover pickles. So this weekend I poured soy water, apple cider, and white vinegar over them. Delicious. Can tolerate better than soy water. Okay, that's interesting. So it's like tastes like pickle juice. Okay, I can see that. Yeah, pickle juice I don't recommend. And there are a couple reasons why. Number one, because the sodium level in pickle juice varies and there's no way to track it because it doesn't list how much sodium is in the pickle juice on the label. So that, and I just don't eat enough pickles. Like you said, you can have a whole bunch of pickles just sitting there. Well, I guess you can repickle them and then you can know how much is in there if you're tracking that, right? If you're putting the sodium in, you know how much is there. So it definitely can work. I don't see why not. I think that's a good idea. Nice way to make those pickles last longer. But yeah, I'm not a pickle eater, and I just can't see how buying pickles to get the pickle juice makes any sense at all because of how much you'd need to consume. Your body feels dry from too much washroom visits. Yep, that's just part for the course, I think. I try and keep this cheap Walmart shea butter bodycology stuff in my purse. I have like some everywhere. I have some here in my drawer in my bedroom, some in the bathroom, some in my purse, and I just I apply it constantly all day long. And it's really thick. It's like thick stuff. I get it at Walmart. It's probably not that amazing. It's super cheap, so probably not awesome. But yeah, I'm always doing that. My daughter uses coconut oil all over her skin when she showers. She is from India, and she gets really gray and ashy looking if she doesn't keep her body really moisturized. So she does that with coconut oil. She just puts it all over. So yeah, that seems to help her. I don't like the greasy feel of it, so I don't do that, but she does, and she loves it. Okay, let's see. Okay. Karen Rothwell says, I wish I could say that keto helped my skin, but my skin is still awful. My skin is still awesome, other than dry, but it hasn't changed at all on keto. Not at all. I look the same to me anyway. I don't know. I have more wrinkles now. I've lost weight. I mean, I got wrinkles. You can't see them very good with my fancy light on, but I have more wrinkles since I lost weight than but I have to say, I have good skin because of my genes, my genetics. My grandmas looked amazing when they died at 93. So you can't blame or give credit to keto for my skin. I know I need to respect my sleep, but YouTube takes my time. I am up till 1 or 2 a.m. every night doing my YouTube videos. And then I have to get up in the morning by 7, 8, depending on the day. In order to, last night I didn't make a YouTube video, which is why I got sleep. I decided my sleep was more important because I'd only had 5 the night before. So, but I still couldn't even fall asleep until midnight. And I got up at 8, no, 9. Well, shoot, I didn't get 8 hours of sleep. I woke up at 8:30, 7.5 hours. Still, it feels like a lot more than I normally get. But yeah, that's how YouTube is. I have to do it when I can do it. So in the morning, I homeschool, which is what I should be doing right now. My kids are doing their own basically right now while I am doing this, which they're very good to do. So they know what they're supposed to do. They have their little charts and they're so good. But I homeschool until about 1. And then I do lunch. And then in the afternoon, it's just getting the kids ready to go to dance classes. And then I spend the entire afternoon / evening at the dance studio every single night. I don't get home until about between 8 and 10. And I eat my dinner and I go up and edit. Actually, a lot of times Dave brings me my dinner to the computer while I'm editing. And I edit, usually start editing around 9 and finish by 1. If it's a quick vlog, I can be done in an hour. It just depends on the night. But if I get done in an hour, I always try and do an extra video because, like I said, I'm trying to run 2 channels and I have a lot to work on. And I'm fast, but I am still not fast enough to like get to bed at a decent hour. And I'm so used to staying up that late. Even like I said last night, I still couldn't fall asleep even though I was so exhausted. I couldn't fall asleep till midnight. I know, it's bad. It's bad, I know it is. I have put coconut oil in my bath. I just don't like it in my hair, and so it doesn't work for me that way. Eating fruits is just going to kick you out of ketosis. It's not going to help your skin. Let's see. Hello, Cooper's Cats from Spain. Welcome. I don't know what BHB salts are, so I can't. Is that the stuff that's in Bang instead of caffeine? I don't know. I drink Bang. I don't know why I drink it. It tastes good. That's why. And I don't drink coffee, so that's why I drink it. But I love diet soda because diet soda keeps me from eating food, and I am a binge eater. And if my stomach is full of diet soda, I'm less likely to eat too much. It's a coping technique. You don't have to do that. You do not need to drink that much water. You don't have to drink half your body weight in ounces on keto. You only need to keep your electrolytes in balance and have a reasonable amount of water. Basically, drink to thirst. If you know your electrolytes are good and you're still thirsty, then you should drink water. If you're thirsty, you should always try electrolytes first, because it's usually that. I hardly drink any. Yeah, no fruits except some berries. Best to just not do fruits at all. Don't feel like you have to start over. Join the Facebook group and grab my getting started guide, or send me an email to ketochaos@gmail.com, Nesreen, and I will send it to you free. It doesn't cost any money, and it tells you what to do and what's the best things to eat and that kind of thing. Fruits just are too high in carbs. You need to be able to track your carbs, and you want to keep your carbs under, I say 21 or 20 net, but really you can go under 25 and be fine, under 30 and be fine. Like, it just depends on the person. Keto Gains recommends 25 net carbs. I recommend 20 just to be safe, but it's really up to the person to decide. I think everyone who loses weight looks older than they used to. I think that's part of it. It's just part of losing weight, because your skin gets stretched out and then it goes, you know? Yes, exactly. The skin just looks saggy because it doesn't have fat in it. And hopefully, if you're lucky, it will shrink up. But it's really more genetic than anything. Okay. Oh, BHB salts are exogenous ketones? What, they changed the name now so that people will use them? No. Just say no to exogenous ketones. Drink your caffeine. Okay, I'll tell you this. The reason why exogenous ketones can help you have more energy is because they're easily accessible to the body, and the body will burn those. That's great. Problem is, if you're burning those, are you making any? Probably not. How do you burn body fat? Why would your body burn body fat if it doesn't need to make any? See what I'm saying? So if you consume exogenous ketones, will you have more energy? Maybe. But will it help you burn body fat? No. It will stop it. It will make you burn less. So use with caution. I highly do not recommend. If you are doing keto for a medical reason, go for it. All the ketones, drown in the ketones. But if you're doing it to lose fat, you're just going to kick yourself in the foot. I mean, you're just going to be like, boop, 10 steps forward, 20 steps back. Like, it's just not going to get anywhere doing that. So, BHB salts, really? Beta hydroxybutyrate salts. Oh my gosh. Wow, they're really pushing. They're really pushing to waste your money, aren't they? Guys, don't waste your money on stupid keto products for the millionth time. If it's a nice, yummy product that's a food that has good macros, like those outer aisle things that they sent me, the cauliflower thins, that's different. When people are trying to sell you crazy supplements that are costing a ton of money when you could just go out and buy some freaking light salt, that's what pisses me off. Don't buy those things from those people. It makes me so mad. That's why I don't support Dr. Berg. It's why I don't support Goody Beats. Well, Goody Beats isn't the worst. What's the other one? Thomas DeLauer? Oh, he's the worst. Doesn't matter if their information is good because half the time it's just an infomercial. I'm praying that I never become an infomercial. I will do sponsored videos for products that I like, but I'm not going to become an infomercial constantly telling you to buy ridiculous keto products that you do not need because you don't actually need them and they will cost you a ton of money. Ketones are a waste of money. Expensive pee. And they'll just get in the way of you losing weight. All right, we're at an hour. I got to be done. Fasting, I highly recommend you going back 4 weeks and watching my video about fasting. I do not recommend extended fasting, and neither does Dr. Phinney, and I talk about why in that video. The most I would ever recommend fasting is doing an OMAD, a 1 meal a day, 24-hour fast. And if you're going to do that, you still need to make sure that you hit your protein level when you do it. So it's hard. Intermittent fasting seems to be the best option. Gives you the benefit of autophagy while not getting to the risky place where you're burning lean mass or you are risking your metabolism damage. So try and stick to an intermittent fasting, either 16-8 or 24-hour OMAD type deal. And that's the most I'd recommend. Yeah, kidney stones are a different issue. Dr. Phinney actually has an article about that I need to read. But I've never had an issue with kidney stones. Honestly, though, I really feel like electrolytes would benefit from that too, because the whole point of the water is to keep your kidneys flushing, and making sure you have the correct amount of electrolytes and that your body isn't retaining sodium will keep your kidneys flushing anyway. So I don't know that it's necessary, but if you are having to drink a ton of water and you are doing it to flush, you probably will need a higher level of sodium than people who aren't doing that. Okay, let's see. People say I look younger too. I don't know if I necessarily look younger, but I feel younger. All right. Where are we? Sorry, I'm skipping that because it's too sciencey for me. Tammy. Either way, I don't say you should take it. Yeah, and DeLauer changes what he says. Well, and that's the thing. Like, technically, I'm changing what I say right now. Technically. But, I mean, I'm not afraid to admit that I was wrong. And it depends on, like, I'm going to try this for a while and see what happens, too. He says to eat turkey and then not eat turkey and then eat chicken and then not eat chicken and on and on. Yeah. Yep. Thank you for the compliment. Sunny Cal, you just do OMAD but not keto and you've lost a lot of weight. That's awesome. That's so great. I can't eat carbs. I look at a carb and I gain 10 pounds. It's so dumb. I can't even overeat my fats very well and still not gain fat. My body is dumb. I think I probably killed my metabolism doing isogenics or something dumb. I don't know. She says basically BHB isn't a ketone. But either way, I say don't use it because what's the point? I don't know. It's a keto product. I don't usually recommend it. But MCT oil, I also do not recommend. The reason why MCT oil is touted as so great for keto is because it's easily converted into ketones. Your body converts it easier, which supposedly gives you higher energy. But the problem is the same thing as when you are putting ketones in your body is going to burn the coconut oil first, and it's not going to burn your body fat. You're basically, when you drink your fats, you're basically swallowing empty calories and you're preventing your body from burning fat. Now, in maintenance, when you are trying to keep your fats at a reasonable level to try and keep your body from burning too much body fat, then MCT oil is going to be a great thing that you can add it to your drinks or whatever. It is a good way for your body to burn and get energy. There's nothing wrong with it. But if you're trying to lose body fat, keeping your fats lower is going to burn more body fat because your body will burn the same amount of fat it needs to burn to run, regardless of if it comes from your dietary consumed fat from your cup or your plate or the fat from your actual body. People think that if you eat low fat, you're not going to be in ketosis. That's bullcrap lie. You're going to burn just as much fat and create just as many ketones. It's just that you're going to be getting your fat from your body fat stores, which is literally the point, right? Literally the point. Most people are on this channel because they want to lose weight, not because they care about ketosis, not because they care about the benefits of medical keto. They're here to lose fat. And if you're drinking MCT oil, it's going to get in the way of you losing fat. So it's not recommended on fat loss. It's great for maintenance. It's good for energy, but it's better to use it on maintenance. VHB is big in the weightlifting arena. It was popular way before keto. Is it needed? I doubt it. Probably not. Apparently, all ketone bodies are ketones, but not all ketones are ketone bodies. Now you're really trying to science my brain out, Karen. Awesome. All right. Okay. Plus it's gross. Okay. So, to be honest, when I first started keto, I was afraid that I wouldn't get into ketosis if I didn't eat a lot of fat. I started high fat and now I'm high protein, but the weight loss has slowed. It's interesting. So okay. I'm over time, but I will go into this, even though it'll take a second. Ketosis is carbohydrate restricted driven, has nothing to do with the amount of fat you consume. If you're eating less than 20 grams of net carb a day, you are for sure in ketosis. You can be in ketosis on a higher level of net carb, but that is different for every person. And so 20 seems to be the magic number that gets everyone there. And so that is the reason. If you're testing your ketones, you will test higher ketone levels with higher fat keto because you're just going to have plenty of ketones in your body. You're not going to burn them as much because your body is burning. I don't know why it does that. It doesn't seem to matter though. Being in ketosis is not what drives fat loss. Having a caloric deficit is the number one thing that drives fat loss. So if you're doing the higher protein, and that means you're also doing a lower fat, that should be driving your fat loss. If the scale isn't going down and you're doing that, probably it's your electrolytes. If your measurements are not going down and the scale is not going down and it has been 6 weeks, you probably need to lower your fat macro even more. It changes according to how close you are to your goal, and your body just gets to the point where it doesn't want to let go of any more fat. It just gets ornery about it, and sometimes you kind of have to force it. I also find that if I get to a place where my body just isn't dropping, if I throw it for a loop by eating a crap ton of fat in one day and then go back to my fat loss macros, it will trigger it, just like eating high carbs can do that. The thing is when you do a carb up day, it will do that too, but a carb up day risks a carb up binge. And I can't go there because I am a food addict and a binge eater. I cannot go there. I would be unstoppable. I would eat like 4,000 million calories in one day and never stop for months. And yeah, I can't go there, but I can do a really, really high fat day to kind of throw my metabolism for a loop and get things moving again. So double check your macros. Make sure you're getting enough protein. Make sure you say high protein, but how much are you getting? Are you getting 0.8 grams per pound of lean mass? Do you know what your lean mass is? Go to the Navy body fat calculator. Make sure you go to the keto gains calculator and plug your numbers in correctly. If you need help with that, let me know. If you use my chart from my Facebook group, it's pretty average, but it works for most people, at least to get started. If you're closer to your goal, you're just going to need to lower your fats and raise your proteins even more, to the point where I decided that 20 pounds didn't need to go, because if I lower my fats enough to keep the body fat moving, I'm just an ornery cuss, and I don't want to be an ornery cuss right now. So I'm taking a break. That's why I'm doing maintenance right now, even though I technically still have at least 20 pounds of body fat I could lose. So I hope that helps. If not, you can feel free to ask me questions on the Facebook group, and we'll try and troubleshoot. We can look at what you're eating and see if there's anything we can do to help. But most of the time, people switch. It does the opposite. And the higher fat keto is not necessary to get into ketosis. It is nice the first week to let your body know it has plenty of fat to burn, because of course your body's going to burn your dietary fat first, and it's going to feel more comfortable at first if you're giving it plenty of fuel. But that's just going to be detrimental over time. I bet you $1 million you go back to the high fat keto, you're not going to lose weight. And if maybe you were losing lean mass before because your protein was so low, and your body is just rebuilding your lean mass right now, and so it's just taking a break. There's so many things. There's so many factors. I know Amy Berger is going to be talking about that in her book, but I know that's her big thing is too much calories means you don't lose enough weight. And that's just it right there. And I know that's part of what her stance is on that. Some of us are just not lucky enough to lose on eating whatever we want, right? Okay. Yes, and say no to MCT oil. How do those who do 24 or OMAD get all their calories in? Is there a minimum level of calories? There's not a minimum level of calories. The way I teach, there is a minimum level of protein. So it is imperative to get all of your protein in that one meal. It is not easy to do. Definitely, you're going to have to add in probably Premier protein shakes, or like the new Quest 30-gram ones that are competing with Premier protein. You're going to have to use some sort of liquid protein, most likely, to meet your macros, unless you're like Sarah Pearls of Wisdom and you need yourself a big old T-bone and just get it all in. So that's what she does. So yeah, like you can do it, and you can teach your body to eat more. And I know, like, I have a moderator on my page, on my keto group, who does OMAD because she's a binge eater and she likes to feel extra full. So she will just eat a huge meal, and it makes her happy, and then she doesn't eat the rest of the day. So it all depends on the person, and it's not easy to do. That's why I personally don't do it. I've done it a few times, and it's just, I feel like I don't enjoy my food as much when I have to try and cram it all in one meal. So I don't know. But there's not a minimum level of calories. You just need to make sure you hit your protein and keep your carbs low, and then your fats can be where they may. But if your fats get lower than 50 grams per day, you're going to be cranky because it's not enough for hormones. And you should take a fish oil supplement, if you're going to go below 50. And even then, you're still going to be cranky. Just so you know, really cranky. Especially if you're a woman. Okay. Yeah, you can exercise. Definitely building your lean mass will help as well. That is a good one to bring up, Nesreen. Not cardio, lifting. You want strength training. Strength training will build your lean mass, and then you will burn more calories, thus needing to burn more body fat. So that's how it works. Okay. 82 grams is not enough protein. Unless you're a very, very small person, like 4'5". Seriously. Personally, I do 120 and I'm 5'7". That's my happy number. I could do as low as 103 at 5'7". Oh, sorry about my kids being loud. They're like, Mom, you're over time. You don't need exercise, but if you're hitting a wall, lifting, muscle strengthening exercises can definitely help you burn more. You don't need to you can run your heart out. It's not going to do you any good. It's all about diet. Chicken breast is awesome. Yep, lots of chicken. In fact, my answer always is eat chicken. I want to patent the chicken breast fast because that would actually work. The egg fast, the beef and butter fast, so stupid. Chicken fast? Heck yeah, baby. Heck yeah, chicken fast. Let's do it. The chicken every day for a week fast. I bet you if you eat chicken breast 3 times a day for a week, you will drop a crap ton of weight. Yeah, I'm doing that. Oh, I love it. Okay. So Judy Drain says, I'm doing the macros from the Dirty Keto Facebook group. So it's no longer Dirty Keto for beginners. It is Dirty Keto protein prioritized. Theirs is 951 calories a day, and my macros say 1248. I'm not losing on the 80 grams of protein, so maybe it's not enough for me. I'm surprised they gave you 80. Are you super short? Like, are you like 4'5"? Because that's insane. Personally, I like to tell everyone to do at least 100. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. My macros are not customized. My macros are average based on average lean mass for the average height and sex. They don't have as extreme of a deficit. My advice to you would be to get your own from Ketogains. Get your body fat percentage from Navy Body Fat Calculator. Go to Ketogains and plug in your numbers and see what Ketogains says. And I would do it for 1 gram of protein per 1 pound of lean mass. But 0.8 is really the lowest that you would go. They probably did 0.8 for you, I would guess. But even then, it seems so low. That just really seems low. Honestly, if you're not losing though, like I'm really surprised. That's like literally scientifically impossible. So, I mean, if you're eating 951 calories a day, you're losing weight. There's no way you're not. So either it's just not showing up in the way you're measuring, or I don't know. There's no way. Like there's no way you're not burning more than that. So scientifically, you have to be losing weight. It might just be your body is taking a minute to hold some water. Maybe your electrolytes are off. I don't know. Okay, let's see. Do you believe we still get into autophagy while drinking diet sodas during fasting? Yeah, heck yeah. It's 0 calories. It does nothing. Yeah, totally fine. Okay, 5'4". Yeah, I mean, that you're definitely not tall, but 5'4" is not super uber short. So yeah, definitely, if you're not already on my Facebook group, Keto Chaos, go there and get your protein number from that and then decide on your fat macro. Okay, I've got a call coming in from my brother-in-law that is probably important because he has now called me twice. Is Uncle Chris here, guys? No. He's probably at my house. I'm going to have to go. So the chicken breast fast would be so dry, but yes, you would lose so much weight. All right. Yokum 2002 says, thank you for the sugar-free Jello recommendation. It's a perfect sweet fix during the day. Yes, I love that stuff. Okay. Technically, you can live on 951 calories a day because your body will just burn your body fat. You can't go into starvation mode. That's a myth. You have plenty of body fat stores. So basically, it's just, that sounds miserable to eat. Blech. Yeah, exactly. It can cause your cortisol to spike because it's stressful. Yes, exactly. Yeah, 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of lean mass, which I think is, I don't know. I don't know what it is for kilograms and pounds, but I go with 1 gram per pound, and that seems to be perfect for me. But yeah, Awaken, the starvation myth is a myth. There's no such thing. It can damage your metabolism over time if you don't eat enough food or if you fast for too long. That's what Dr. Phinney says. But your body does not have a starvation mode if you have fat on your body. It's only if you're like a Holocaust victim and you have nothing on you. Like you can't, starve, literally starve. Okay, I love you guys, but I gotta go. So I will see you. I love you all so much. And we'll talk to you again very soon. Bye.